Yes guys, it's Tom here. I'm a professional FIFA player for XL and I'm here today to teach you how to attack in the 4-4-2. So tip number one is going to be the player lock. We can see in this clip here, I have the ball with my left midfielder and I press L1 to trigger his run. However, I'm not happy with where he's running, so I use the player lock effectively to control my striker. You press the left and right analog stick in at the same time and then press the right stick to who you want to receive the ball with. So now what I want to do with my striker is bend my run round the centre back, so when I receive the through ball I'm going to be bearing down on goal, which is exactly what we do here. It now means that I'm in a very dangerous position and we apply the finishing touch using a chipped finish. So tip number two is how to effectively use the driven pass. So as we can see in this clip, I pick the ball up out wide my left midfielder and I'm looking to create the angle of passing to one of my two strikers. So I managed to recycle the ball. I go back to my midfielder, and as we can see, I've triggered my striker's run, and I have two strikers to hit now, which I want to hit with the driven pass. To perform the driven pass, we use R1 and X at the same time, and we can see here, as I use it, it comes perfectly into the space, and I get my shot off before the centre-back can get there. Possession in attack. So what does this actually mean? Well, I've noticed from all my years playing FIFA that a lot of people are in a rush to get to the goal and try and score as quickly as possible. Sometimes that means we don't pick the right passes. As we can see in this clip here, I'm going to recycle the ball. I have the ball with my striker and I'm looking for my other striker or my midfielder that's making an advanced run. I noticed very quickly that he's got both of these passes covered, and this is when I make the decision that it's best to recycle the ball and be patient in attack. Here, I pass the ball backwards, and I notice that the area of the pitch is very, very congested in the middle. As a result of this, I go out wide to my left back. He's got the space to attack, and my aim here is to try and bring out a couple of them players in the middle area. It's way too congested to create a chance. So my aim is to try and attack the space as much as possible to start pulling these players out of position. I drive forward and we can see a couple of his midfielders have now come out to engage with the ball, and it means that I can rotate the ball around the area and try and find the right pass. So I go back to my midfielder, who goes into my striker, and now we're in a very, very dangerous position. We can see that recycle has helped me get to this spot here. As I get the ball, the pass opens up to my striker, and that's where we get the goal. I've been Tom. I hope you've all enjoyed my 4-4-2 masterclass, and I'll see you all on the pitch.
What's going on, everyone? Olelito here. I'm a professional FIFA player for Ninjas in Pajamas, and today I will be showing you a masterclass how to defend in FIFA 22. In this masterclass, I will be showing you first of all how to play a switch, how to pressure play, and how to use your center backs in the best kind of way. First of all, I have the ball with my CM here. The thing is that I play a very sloppy pass here, trying to reach my other CM. The thing though is that the R1 pass in FIFA 22 is super effective. And why? Because the accuracy of the pass is very good. So the thing I want to do here first of all is to bumper switch to the closest player, in this case that's closest to the striker making a running behind, which is my center back. So I'm switching to my center back here, as you see, and from now on I'm in front of the ball. So most likely I will get it, which happens, and after that I can start my attack and hopefully score a goal. The second topic I want to talk about today is where to press, and I can tell you for a fact that this will improve your defense in FIFA 22. So as you see here, I'm brave enough here to be able to control my center back and trying to put pressure on his winger. And I'm actually, at the same time as I'm putting pressure on his winger here, as you see in this clip, I'm also cutting off the passing lane to his winger, then making a run in behind. So the thing I'm doing here is to always still put pressure on him, because he feels like I'm very close to him all the time. He makes a rush decision, and the outcome of this then is that he is running out with the ball, I'm getting a throw in, and I can start my attack from there. The third topic of today is how to use the center backs. And I think it's a very hard thing in this FIFA to do. First of all, I see that he is starting a very dangerous counter-attack. So he gets the ball into his striker. The thing that is going on in my head here is I need to put pressure on the ball holder. So the thing I'm doing first of all is to put the R1 pressure with your R1 bumper on your controller with my right center back here, which allows him to basically don't have any passing options here. As you see, the only thing he can do is to go forward. But at the same time here, I see that he has tried to do the play lock option, which you do by pressing down your L3 and R3 at the same time. So I'm switching to my left center back here to be able to cover the space in behind, which can be very dangerous because we know these through balls in this game are effective. So I'm switching to my center back, but at the same time trying to put pressure on the ball holder, which then results in me getting the ball and starting a good attack. So guys, this has been Olelito for you all. Thank you so much for watching this masterclass. See you on the pitch.
Were you there when Tech shocked the world in Barcelona?
This kid, I mean, he's come out of nowhere, DH Tech's.
When Buildup did this to win the Summer Cup?
Can you believe it?
Were you watching when MS Desai became king of the jungle? Or when Mike scored with a rainbow flick? Did you witness Levy's 5-goal comeback to win back-to-back championships in his rookie season?
Finally starts to kick in as well, the tears on the side of Gravison.
Or the moment Gravison sealed his ticket to the World Cup?
You know, there's nothing I love more than FIFA esports.
Were you there for this? Or this? Or any of this? The Masters are back to make history. Will you be there?
Well, hello guys, and welcome to our final week of Monday Night FIFA action in this, the FGS Masters Cup, with myself, Rachel Stringer, and Man City FIFA pro Ryan Persoa. Over the last 3 weeks, we have seen top-level FIFA pairings compete for a share of the weekly top prize pool, $25,000, of course. $15,000 goes to the top pair. Our competitors so far have been awesome, and our champions have been Team XL, Guild and Heretics. And tonight we'll crown our 4th FGS Masters Cup champion. Ryan, what a set of weekly mini FIFA tournaments we have had so far. Hello, Ryan, as always. What do you think it's done for our teams involved? I'm not sure if Ryan can hear us at the moment, but it's been such an awesome start, of course. Let's have a quick look at who will possibly be competing to be our final champion tonight. It's out of Complexity Gaming, taking on Atlanta United, the two American teams in semi-final 1. Then we have Inter Esports, the Italian esports team, taking on SPQR's Brazilian team there. Well, they'll be competing for some prize money. We've mentioned that already, of course. Let's have a look at how it's broken down then. $25,000 prize pool total, broken down as follows. It's $15,000 for number 1. Second place gets $5,000 and of course third and fourth place get $2,500 each. There we go, that's pretty exciting to take home on Monday night, of course. Well, these are the two semi-finals coming up. We just mentioned it. We have Complexity Gaming first up. They're taking on Atlanta United. Let's have a quick look at those two teams. Yoxan and Maxi. Obviously, Yoxan is a 3 times North American champion and also a Club World Cup champion as well. This guy has been competing at the top level of FIFA esports for many years now. Back in FIFA 20, I got to see him at the FGS Global Series competing as one of the top competitors on the scene. And he's actually been a teammate of Maxi's since FIFA 20 as well. So those guys go back for quite some time as a pairing. It's going to be very exciting to see those two in full swing tonight. Maxi actually tweeted he's going for his 3rd title with Yoxan. Let's move on then to Atlanta United and their star, Paulo Neto. He's the recent EMLS champion. So maybe we're going to say he's the man in form, but it's not individual performances tonight, of course. It is about your pairing. Okay, so he has to go well with Vinny, of course, and Vinny is also a very great competitor. He's been around the FIFA Global Series for some time now as well. So these two, again, are going to be a force to be reckoned with. Obviously, it's SPQR's Brazilian team here. Atlanta United, sorry, one of the American teams as well. On paper, maybe, guys, you can't look past the World Cup winning duo of Complexity. But we're going to find out the answer to that shortly because we're going to jump into our first semi-final of tonight in this final FGS Masters Cup. We're going to hand over to Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley to take us through this one. Boys, I know you're going to enjoy it as much as we love watching.
Thank you very much, Rachel. And yes, here we go then. Week 4 of these Masters Cups. March has certainly delivered us with a little bit of FIFA esports. Every single Monday, we've been calling it Monday Night FIFA here. And Richard, the last 3 weeks have delivered loads of upsets and surprises for us. Now we travel to the other side of the world, into South America and North America. How much are you looking forward to tonight's teams and seeing them in action?
Oh, I'm over the moon. I can't wait to see what South America can offer. We're also looking at North America as well. The Americas, we shall call it. They are such an underappreciated region, South America, when you look at the quality that they have there. The serial winners that have come out of South America. And, I mean, look, we're even seeing South American players, Matthias, Nicholas, moving over, Yago to Europe and dominating there as well. Joxan and Maxi on your left. Serial winners across the board on your screen right now. Paulo Neto was picking up a trophy 2 weeks ago at the EMLS. Let's see if they can be successful yet again here tonight.
I think the key word you take from that complexity side is 2 team winners, Richard Buckley. They've both won the FIFA 20 E-Club World Cup and the FIFA 21 E-Club World Cup. Yes, it was slightly redesigned to an online era, but nevertheless, they have been champions in a duo. Team Complexity Gaming kick from left to right in their traditional blue strip in the game of FIFA 22. And Atlanta United, with Paulo Neto and Vinny, will kick from right to left. Rachel Stringer rightly said on the introduction, it's been quite the last month for Paulo Neto, a player that's played his FIFA for the American Football Club since 2019. He picked up his first EMLS victory just a few weeks ago, but surely, Richard, that's going to give him all the confidence in the world to take into tonight's tournament.
No, absolutely. Just the wins and the victories and the championships that he has won in the past. And then you look across the table as well at Vinny. This man is a serial winner, he's a serial finalist. We were covering this South American region in full last year when we were sort of landlocked and we were looking at the in particular regions in more detail, South America, North America, etc. Some of the quality that we saw from South America, from Brazil, from Argentina, was truly outstanding, and it really is, for me, one of the hotbeds of FIFA esports. We see young, talented players coming out year after year after year. There's always new South American players. There's always up-and-coming rising stars. And we're looking at the best of the best right here tonight.
Yeah, let's not forget, both of these 2 teams will be involved in the Team of the Season Cup, which will happen at the end of April next month. But we'll see 32 teams battle out across 3 days of competitive FIFA. One thing that I do want to talk about with this Atlanta United side there, Richard, in terms of their form as a duo, they only have a 52% win rate, and that's from 33 matches of FIFA they played together as a team. That's come from the FIFA E-Club World Cup in the last year on FIFA 22. It's a stat that I can assure you they'll want to improve. Here comes Team Complexity now looking for their first opener in the game, and that's a chance that Pele really should be putting away for Complexity.
Absolutely, big opening chance for this Complexity game inside. If you want to look at the individual players and how they're getting on, Joxan will be the red icon, Maxi blue for Atlanta United. Paulo Neto will be your yellow icon and Vinny will be the white.
Just to get your thoughts on that, Richard, in terms of the stat there of Atlanta United. 52% win rate from 33 games they've played as a duo. That's a stat that has to be improved. You hope that the Masters Cups will guide them in the right direction, but that's something that must be sorted as soon as possible with the Team of the Season Cup, what, just a few weeks away now?
Is that from the Club World Cup qualifying?
Correct.
That stat, yeah. So I was actually dissecting a lot of those stats. I was looking at how, I was basically looking at a lot of the data, and 52% is actually a decent win percentage. Because of how the format breaks down, it's that every single individual leg counts as a win or a loss. So I think every single series you play 2 matches to get a maximum of 6 points. They're picking up at least 1 win. To me, you might disagree, but I actually don't think that's a bad return. 50+% is a decent return from that.
They've been a duo ever since the start of this FIFA 22 year. As we've seen from a lot of these teams, it's been the first outing we've been able to see. They did brush shoulders though, Joksan and Atlanta United's Paolo Neto in the recent EMLS. Obviously a 1v1 tournament, not the 2v2 Masters format that we've been looking at tonight. They didn't meet in the knockout bracket, but as you know, Paolo Neto finally got his chance to lift silverware in his 2nd season, or should I say 3rd season, representing Atlanta United. Here comes Ronaldo now here for Atlanta. Can't quite link into Mbappe. Expect to see that time and time again. The teams are pretty much stacked with Team of the Year items in there. You might see the odds. Interesting pick come out to play, but the prime icon moments now in the game of FIFA 22. These are the teams that, to be honest, we're going to be seeing now and probably into the likes of that Team of the Season Cup and the remaining FIFA 22 tournaments this year. Obviously, the likes of Team of the Season certainly will spruce these teams up. Just one more time.
No, absolutely. The quality that we're seeing on the pitch with the prime icon moments and those particular players are just so good. Well-rounded. The Team of the Year items as well. Having the full selection of players there. I like to see the mix. Typically, we've seen sort of all Team of the Year or all prime icon moment. We've seen a mix of the two at the moment.
Pele finds Mbappe. It's Complexity looking for their first goal in this one. It's another good block at the back. He might not have known much about that, Marquinhos, but once again, he's there to save the day. Remember the format here in these Masters Cups. It's a straight knockout format. 2 games of FIFA with an aggregate scoreline has always been a staple way of playing competitive FIFA, whether it's 1v1 or 2v2. Across the last 3 weeks, we've seen a number of interesting results. We'll try and get some stats for you at half-time between the two. You see Paolo Neto and Vinny on your screen there. Half-time in our opening game in the Masters Cup. It's Complexity Gaming 0, Atlanta United 0. They sit
just have a
literally next to each other, don't they?
Just sort of having a look over at the moment. Not too much when it comes to stats. This was the only chance in that first half. N'Golo Kante slid the ball into R9. Beautiful scoop turn around the man and just put it wide there in the end. Maxi a shake of the head. I'm just going back to the stat that you talked about earlier, Brandon. You know, the 52%, because that's one of the sort of the only the Club World Cup stats. I think they go back numerous years as well. You said 52 for Atlanta. Complexity have got a 56% win percentage. Fnatic, who are regarded as, I mean, they're an FGS Masters team. They're one of the best teams in the world. 57% win percentage overall on their Club World Cup stats. So I think it just goes to show the quality that we're seeing on display here this evening.
Also, just to back that up as well, Richard, it's from the Club World Cup Series 2022 stats. This one just in particular I'm referencing for Atlanta United. They sit 10th in the consisting rankings. Out of 24 teams, it's not the worst of stats, and let's be honest, it's not stats that are based off LAN tournaments yet, something that we will come to see towards the end of next month. Back underway here in our first leg of our opening semi-final. In week 4 of these Masters Cups, $25,000 on the line every single Monday, with a winning team picking up $15,000 of it. Serious lump of cash and a serious confidence booster. Ruben Diaz says he's pleased, he fancies a run forward. Finds Cristiano Ronaldo, who's pulled out on this left-hand side. R9 from distance! Oh, Atlanta United! How about that one for an opening goal here in the Masters Cups?
Outstanding finish from R9. Vinny and Paolo Neto. Just a little nod of appreciation for that one. Just gave R9 too much space on the edge of the box, allowed him to turn, fired that finesse shot away, in off the crossbar. Looked beautiful as it bounced in. And the Brazilians lead in this first leg. For a two-legged match, aggregate scoreline will be in effect to see who will be in our final for week 4.
There wasn't time, there wasn't really anything fancy about the finish from R9. It was just that it was R9, prime icon moments. And Nazario. It's normally Cristiano Ronaldo or Mbappe that fancy a finesse shot from that far out, just because of how they are positioned in the formation that is normally implemented from these pros. Well, that time, it's Brazilian forward. Just to get your thoughts on team complexity as they have this chance to come forward now to find the equaliser. Mbappe elasticos and tries his best to find his way around the box. Nicely done. It's composed from Pele, maybe too composed from the Brazilian. What has been one of the factors to why they've just had so much success, Richard? Because in a team environment, in a 2v2 environment, they're one of the most successful teams we've ever seen in competitive FIFA. Back-to-back E-Club World Cup winners, both at LAN in Milan back in 2020 when it was FIFA 20, of course, and then online for the FIFA 21 season. They found their way to victory both years back-to-back, and it seems like complexity, whenever there's a team environment or a tournament that involves that, they seem to play really well.
Well, they're not only a team, they're not only teammates, but they're good friends as well. They play together, they live in very close proximity of each other, down with team complexity as well. It's really, it's a franchise, isn't it? Complexity. They know exactly what they're doing. The healthcare of the players, the nutritionists. It is truly sort of, it is the gold standard of esports organisations. And when you look, they're built for success. This was the goal that opened the scoring here for Atlanta United. In off the crossbar, beautiful finish. And Vinny and Paolo Neto, they're very happy. Maxi, a look of amusement as that one flew off the crossbar.
I think they're confused, aren't they? It wasn't, it wasn't timed. There was nothing fancy about the finish. It was just, as we know, a player that's got already unbelievable in-game stats, that prime icon moments. R9, we flip the switch just to have a look at the duo of Joxan and Maxi. Must keep in mind that everyone is playing from the comfort of their own homes or gaming facilities around the world. It's incredible how these FGS Master Cups have been partnered together with our fantastic team working behind the scenes hard. Over the last 4 weeks, we've been able to just have a small taster, or a starter, you could say, before the main course comes in that Team of the Season Cup. You look across the last few weeks, Richard, there has been a number of success stories to talk about, whether that's been with the likes of Guild or the likes of XL. There's been a lot to talk about and to celebrate, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, Team Heretics, we had the pleasure of being at one of the first LAN events in 2 years, Brandon, over the weekend at the Premier League, and we were talking to, you mentioned sort of XL there, chatting to Tom after the event had finished at the Premier League, and he was saying, you know what, Team Heretics looked very, very good. He was talking about Matthias, talking about just the FGS Masters in general and how excited he is for that Team of the Season Cup, picking up the win in week 1 alongside Gorilla. Really, really looking forward to coming back and playing some 2v2 FIFA action. 29th to the 1st, April into May.
We saw the pause come in there, and there was a few changes to talk about. One of them has been Zlatan Ibrahimovic for Atlanta United. Just see him on the left-hand side of your screen there, falls into this 4-4-2 formation that looks to have been implemented by Atlanta. Here comes Complexity now looking for their equaliser back in this game. Remember, they will have a second leg to try and fight back. There's Hullet, very nearly snatches that one off the toes of Ruben Diaz, and very nearly just to slot that past Edwin van der Sar.
You saw that ball out there from the goalkeeper. That's why Zlatan's on the pitch. The out ball, the ping out wide, the ping to the back post, gives you that sort of second opportunity. Good defending though, wasn't it? Coming across with Marquinhos and sweeping up the danger.
Big one in the air, Kante. Driving forwards, finds the likes of Mbappe. Chance, finish! Complexity straight back in this game. 15 minutes away from the half-time interval, and you cannot say it's not been coming. They have been knocking on the door ever since this second half got underway.
Really, really good goal. Won the ball back on the halfway line. They turned over possession. And it was that double tap, quick, insightful pass, cutting it backwards very quickly on the sort of 6-yard, 12-yard line. Complexity Gaming right back in the game here and probably thinking, you know what, we might be able to get a winner here before this first leg elapses.
It was just in the last sort of 15 minutes or so, Richard. It's become very open at the back, and there was a couple of simple mistakes we saw from Atlanta. So what's been super impressive, you can see, just some of the player runs that have been triggered between Maxi and Joxan. Keep an eye on your screen of the runs that the likes of Mbappe and R9 have been just teasing. Done enough to make it hell at the back for Ruben Diaz and Marquinhos.
It's that movement and it's that creativity that does open up chances. Really, really solid defending. I got a little bit worried there at the back for Complexity, but managed to deal with it and potentially a flurry in the last 5.
It's Ronaldo now. An unbelievable story if they were able to turn this game around. Easy pickings, Pele or 9, one more, it's so easy. Well, they make it look easy. Complexity strike from 1-0 down. They'll leave the first leg, leading with a 2-1 scoreline.
Just won the ball back, didn't they? It was a little bit of a mistake slash good pressing, you could say, from Complexity. They won the ball in such a dangerous area. Quick pass, extra pass again. The extra pass is something we're seeing more and more this year in FIFA esports. Hold on.
Ball. What's a ball? Oh, he should have just backed himself there. It's a 5-star weak foot of R9 as well. But that's going to do us for the halfway point here in our opening game of the FGS Masters Cup. It's leg 1 concluding. It's Complexity Gaming that lead Atlanta United 2-1. The question is, after this break, will they be able to continue this run and book a spot in the Masters Cup final? We'll see in a few.
Guys, how are you guys doing? My name is Dani Visser, professional FIFA player for Team Gullit and AZ, and today I'm going to show you how to use the player look as a pro. Okay, so the first topic is from your fullback to your winger. Okay, so let's break down this first clip. At first, you want to learn how to use the player lock, of course. You need to press L3 and R3 at the same time. You want to switch to one of your other players, in this case the winger, and you do that by flicking your right stick to your winger. Let's look at it. We get the ball with the right back. We player lock Mbappe, and then of course the important thing is not to pass it immediately, but to make a run first, because the AI will control the right back, so you don't have to worry about that. Walk into the little space in the middle, because that creates a lot of space for the other players as well. Look at who has a lot of space. In this case, it's the striker. Pass it to your other striker, because that's the easy choice to score a goal and finish it. So the second topic I want to talk about is how to use the player lock in the box. We send our striker on a run, we run with our center mid, and then the second player lock happens. And in this case, our striker is completely covered. The defender is standing in front of him, no space whatsoever, but because of the player lock, we can create the space and score a goal. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. This was Dani Visser with how to use the player lock as a pro. See you soon.
Well, welcome back to the FGS Masters Cup. Before we jump into this second leg, if you are sitting home and thinking, you know what, I fancy a little bit of competitive FIFA, well, PlayStation tournaments have got you covered. They offer you weekly, monthly FIFA tournaments for players at all skill levels, for a chance to play against your friends and rivals, for unique rewards. It could be prizes such as game-specific dynamic themes, avatars, even in-game currency or cash prizes. Does that sound good? Well, if it does, go to compete.playstation.com and sign up with your PSN ID. Lots of opportunities there on behalf of PlayStation tournaments. Of course, one of our big sponsors and proud sponsors of the FIFA Global Series. We're back here for this one with myself, Brandon Smith, and Richard Buckley guiding you through this FGS Masters Cup semi-final. Richard, we left it at 2-1 to Complexity, but the storyline is this. They were 1-0 down and they flipped the game on its head with just 30 minutes left to play.
Yeah, we can have a look back at the best moments from leg number 1. This was the opening goal. It was Atlanta United, R9 Ronaldo in off the crossbar from 25 yards. Some Vamosas coming out right there. However, Complexity did answer back with 2 quick goals. We'll see those goals very shortly indeed. But for right now, we're back into live action. No time wasted here on the FGS Masters as Complexity Gaming and Atlanta get back underway.
Here we go, they're back underway. Complexity Gaming from right to left in that blue. Complexity Gaming strip, which you can use in FIFA Ultimate Team. One of the esports kits that was introduced alongside many others just last year. It's been a slow start for the duo of Maxi VIP and Yoksam. However, they certainly found their groove towards the end of play. Maxi came out on social media earlier today and said, let's get our third title at Complexity. What he means by that is, alongside the incredible achievements of a FIFA E Club World Cup back in FIFA 20, an online era, and a FIFA E Club World Cup in FIFA 21, they want to go and get this Masters Cup. Why shouldn't they be confident how they've been able to play in any sort of team scenario over the last few seasons?
Not only that, but they'll be a real favourite at the Team of the Season Cup, Brandon, as well.
Shots from R9, absolutely, Richard. They're certainly going to be one of the names we're going to be talking about. They were one of the 16 invited FGS Masters teams who have qualified for the Team of the Season Cup. They'll be flying in from North America just a few weeks' time. Going to look for another goal here. Mbappe He goes on his own, he gets blocked. Referee says no, get back up on your feet. But Ruben Diaz very nearly found himself away a penalty potentially. So Atlanta United need a better start here. They were pretty good for the first 50 minutes or so. Win the ball back kindly. It's Cristiano Ronaldo, can't turn again. Marquinhos is there. Interesting though, Richard, that for the side of Complexity, there isn't a Ruben Diaz inside. It is a back line of Marquinhos and Vieira. Quite a big player to miss out on because, you know, it seems as if Ruben Diaz makes a good 90+% of pros teams.
Well, it's just the ease as well of Ruben Diaz, because I almost guarantee that Cancelo will be the left back of choice for almost every squad. You get the perfect link with the chemistry as well, something you have to consider with Ruben Diaz to João Cancelo. However, it's all personal preference at the end of the day. All the players are available to use, and look, if you want to try Vieira at centre-back, he's got the pace, the prime icon moments, he's got the defending and physicality that we know about. We don't need to tell us twice about how good of a presence Vieira possesses at the back.
In recent years, he's certainly been preferred as a centre-back, then a defensive CDM, just with the quality of players that find their way onto FIFA Ultimate Team, whether that be through promos or special items throughout the year. 22 minutes, a bit more played here in our second leg of the FGS Masters Cup. It's a dispossession, a bad pass from Hakimi. Atlanta, cheeky chip, finds Mbappe and finds an equaliser.
And you just simply can't make mistakes at this level. It was one bad pass. One bad pass from Hakimi. He gave the ball away on the halfway line. It looked like Complexity had numbers behind the ball. Atlanta carried on that run with Mbappe. He went past the last defender and just rifled it in at the near post. All square. What this game has been, it's been a game of very small margins. There's been a couple of mistakes, a couple of bounces, a couple of sort of second balls that have gone one of the two players' way, one of the team's way. And they're where the goals have come from.
Look at that possession stat for the start of this game. Complexity, 71% possession the first 30 minutes here. But look at the team who scored. It's the team that had a bit of a smash and grab about them. Atlanta United. A duel with Vini. Very top-flight Brazilian player, was playing for the country last year. Did qualify for the FIFA E-Nations Cup. What a ball that is into the box! And what a run, by the way. Marquinhos all the way from centre-back. Look at the run he's made there. A 60-yard plus run to get forward.
It is something that we see. We see the, I wouldn't say a meta, but it's a tactic, it's a technique. You send your centre-back on a run, you play out to the full-back, and then you just whip it straight into the box.
Complexity looking to show something for the incredible possessions that they've had throughout the majority of this first half. Fortunately, that wasn't to be on that occasion. To the point of Atlanta United. It's a football club that's been involved in the esports scene for quite some years now, back from 2018, where obviously we saw the birth of the MLS Cup come into play. They obviously first signed Rated Hugo, then it was the turn of Paulo Neto. And ever since 2019, they've not looked back. And why would they, on the success that this man has had? Someone who's been to a FIFA World Cup. Here comes Ronaldo Elastico. See you later! And who else would it be than Paulo Neto cooking up one of the best goals we may have seen in the Masters Cups?
Dancing inside the box. Paulo Neto, no wonder he's got a smile on his face. Great goal from Cristiano Ronaldo. The Elastico just gave him that little bit of acceleration, that little bit of boost away from the defender before unleashing a strike. Only Ronaldo can provide into that near post.
Well, he's having quite the year, isn't he, Richard? Here's Paulo Neto. Probably perfect timing, in all honesty, for him to play in these Masters Cups. Yes, it's a 2v2 matchup here. Ball into the box, two hands on it from Edwin van der Sar. But he's played in the MLS Cup for quite some time now, dating back to FIFA 20, where he did get a second place in one of the Series 2 campaigns, losing to the hands of Fiddle, obviously player of USA. Now here's some of the stats half time. You can just see there between the two. The possession stats slightly back into Atlanta's hands. I mean, I say back, I mean, it's up about 5% than it was. We'll have a look at the goal, Richard, that did happen in this game. But Complexity, loads of possession, nothing to show for it. Talk me through this goal from Paulo Neto.
Well, it was an outstanding goal. You got the ball out wide with CR7, ball roll, scoop turn inside. Got a little bit of fortune there. Fake shot, hit into the Elastico and just smashed it in the near post. That's the reaction as it went into the back of the net. All focus from Atlanta United as they lead 3-2. Second half back underway.
I'll tell you something about Paulo Neto. That headset he's rocking, Richard, it might be his lucky charm.
It's had a few appearances, hasn't it?
Quite a few outings. Funny story about Paulo Neto as well. In his house, he has got like a huge, I don't know what you'd call it, Richard, a
mural.
painted a wallpaper. Here comes Complexity. Brilliant save. Mural. That's probably the word for it. Of himself in an Atlanta United shirt. He's proud to represent the club. And I mean, if I could do the same, I certainly would.
Wait, is that Brandon Smith saying he's got to get a mural of himself in his living room?
Potentially so. We'll have to speak to Paulo Neto where he got his from.
Another mistake. Got away with it this time.
The win back. Vinny picks up the ball. Watch out for him with the blue icon above his head. He'll look for Palanetto in the box. Little scoop turn. Reverse elastico. Shot comes in. Still alive for Atlanta. We lead by 3 goals to 2. R9 can't find a clean shot goal either. And they seem to have a lot of possession, Rich. They're just not doing much with it at the moment, our complexity.
Well, you can just see how confident Atlanta United seem at the moment. They're coming forward, they're providing skill moves. Big chance here. R9 over the top on the half volley. Smashed it past the goalkeeper. And Atlanta United extend their lead to 2.
It's Palanetto again. The captain of this team, you'd have to say. Who finds another goal, and it's a 2-goal cushion. The first time there's been a 2-goal lead on the aggregate scoreline. As they lead by 4 goals to 2, it's a very difficult position to be in now for complexity. Team of Maxi and Joksan, they were looking for their 3rd title. In the blue and white of complexity game, it doesn't look to be the case. Right, there's the pause. We probably expect to see that. Because it's sort of at the moment of the game now, Richard, where they really have to push forward and go for this. Otherwise, they can say goodbye to a grand final spot here in week 4 of the Masters Cup.
I think we're going to see, remember the possession at the start of the game, 71%. Could be completely switched now in the final 30 minutes as Atlanta United, it gives a little sighter into what's to come, knocking the ball from fullback to fullback as a pause comes in here from Complexity Gaming. Changes are imperative right now for Joksan and Maxi. This was the goal to send Atlanta United into a 4-2 lead. Love a little dink over the top, and you just hit that as it bouncing up. R9 high over the top of the goalkeeper.
Would you expect Van der Sar to do a bit better there, Richard? 6+ foot frame of the Dutch goalkeeper. It's an interesting finish, isn't it?
It's just, do you know when you're younger and you're learning sort of how to play football, and they just say, just put your foot through it and just hit it with your laces. That's what he's done. He just got a good contact on it. And really, sometimes players will overcomplicate that. They'll try and bring it down. They'll try and look for an extra pass, look for a skill move. Atlanta United, almost no-nonsense-esque. Ball comes over the top. Get a clean contact on it. And boy, was it ever a clean contact. Beautiful finish over the top of the goalkeeper. 4-2. Atlanta United lead. But what we got left? 25 minutes on the clock. Definitely enough time for Complexity Gaming to turn this around. Joksan and Maxi know what they need to do.
Yeah, not much chat between them. There doesn't really need to be in the nicest way. They know what they need to do in this moment in time. It's a double change. It's Ronaldo on, Zidane on. 4 complexities. They're going to have at least a constant press engaged, a fast build-up maybe. The bars are certainly going to be a lot higher than they were. It's rightly so they have to go for it, but there will be gaps that will appear. As you can see, Ronaldo peeling off. Can he be found by R9 towards the back post? It will fall. They can just weather a few of these complexity storms that are going to be coming flying at them over the next 5 or 10 minutes. They should be there. Certainly. Easier said than done, though. Halley on the build-up. Waiting for the right run. Pull it into Dam or maybe into Twine. They don't on that occasion. Hull it on his own. No room to turn. This is where we say gaps could appear, and it's a chance for Atlanta to run forward. Finds Pele. R9, he's just offside. Can he come back onside? Pele, a couple of ball rolls. Happy to take time out of the game, in all honesty, I think, if you ask Atlanta United. They have got a 2-goal cushion. They don't need a 3-goal cushion. Obviously, they'd welcome it.
Maybe a bit of a wasted chance there. I thought there was a chance for them to play Atlanta United and try and create that final goal, that killer blow.
Zidane, nicely done. What a save! And the saw that goes in. It's a very different last 10 minutes in this Masters Cup. The chance is still just about alive for Complexity. Back to goal, finds R9, no way through that occasion. I just saw a stat that popped up on the screen there, Richard. 76 passes to 160. I'm predicting who's had the 76 passes.
It literally just goes to show what the mission statement has been. Get those goals and keep hold of the ball for Atlanta United with 6 minutes left to play. That chance for Complexity had to go in, Brandon. It had to go in. Whipped into the back post. Somehow, don't find the fifth. Could find the fifth. Ball bounced around the box. Just get away with it.
It looks as if Atlanta United, Richard, are on their way to a grand final. Last few minutes to be played here. 87 on the clock, they've done the job. They were 1-0 up, they went 2-1 down. At one point we could have said they looked a bit shaky, Vinny and Paolo Neto. Well, maybe that's the test that they needed in their first taste of 2v2 FIFA on the FGS circuit this year. But it'll be a performance to be proud of. They might have had the possession, but certainly they've got the scoreline to back them. 4-2 victory, and they'll be on their way to a grand final. Added time of just a minute. Referee, conclude it, please. Unfortunately, Complexity will have to wait until late April to show what they can do in the Team of the Season Cup. But for now, it's Paolo Neto and Vinny with all smiles at the end of this semi-final. 4-2 winners, Richard, and they'll be on their way to a grand final.
What a second leg from Atlanta United. They came out, they know exactly what they needed to do. 3 goals in that second leg performance as well. They were direct, they were clinical when they got those chances. Really impressive performance.
Yeah, well, all still to play for in the Masters Cup. They are in the grand final. We have to wait to find out who will be finding them in the grand final. We'll be back after this break. We'll be joined by our very own Rachel Stringer and Manchester City's Ryan Pessoa to preview the next semi-final.
Hey guys, this is Leffy again. I'm a professional FIFA esports player for the team Gullit, and today I'm gonna do my second masterclass about skill moves. A lot of people use the reverse elastico to dribble past the opponent, but in this case I use the reverse elastico to create space and get an easy chance on goal. I get a cutback to my center mid. Here I could have chosen for the finesse shot, but obviously that's not a 100% chance, so I try to reach my striker. And when I reach my striker, most of the times I'm thinking about performing the reverse elastico. The way you perform it in this case is because I dribble upwards, you put your right stick from the left side halfway to the right side, then it will perform you the reverse elastico, and as you can see here, an easy chance on goal. The second skill move I want to show you guys is the McKinney cancel. In this case I have some space with my right winger. I managed to get inside the box and I watched my opponent, and as you can see he was very aggressive with the center back. So I want to get the ball to my left winger, striker or cam, because they are in a 3 versus 1 situation in this case. So I chose to do the McKinney cancel. It opens up a lot of space for my striker and my cam. A very good pass into the box, and unfortunately no finish, but I get a pen from it. I've been Leffy, player from the team Gullit. I hope you guys enjoyed my second masterclass on skill moves. See you soon on the pitch.
The FIFA Global Series Masters Cups are presented by PlayStation Tournaments. Yes, guys, welcome back to the FGS Masters Cup, our fourth and final week. As always, we'd love you to join us in the conversation on all of our social media channels. Just use the hashtag FGS22 to join in the conversation, guys. We are everywhere: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, of course. So come and say hello, hello. Once again, I'm going to start this again because we obviously had a few technical problems at the top of the show. Obviously, we're trying to bring you this show from all over the world, guys, so do bear with us. You couldn't even say hi to Man City FIFA Pro Ryan Pessoa. So, Ryan, I'm going to say hello again. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I was just about to play a prank pretending I couldn't hear you. But yeah, I can hear you, Rachel. Happy to be here again with you.
There we go. So let's just have a quick debrief of what happened there, Ryan. So Atlanta then, 4-2 over Complexity. I mean, that's quite the statement, isn't it? Beating a former Club World Cup champions there in the form of Complexity. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think Complexity, they were a little bit upset with the mistakes they made. As you say, they have had the experience of competing in 2v2 tournaments and winning one, of course. So they'll be upset. But again, I felt as if they weren't the better team, and the better team on the day in Atlanta did win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into this then, because obviously Atlanta are going through to the finals. Let's have a look then at the analysis presented by PlayStation Tournaments. Ryan, take this away. We know you love this bit.
Yes, this is one of my favourite parts as we go through the goals from the first matchup today. It was, of course, Atlanta United up against Complexity. And it was Atlanta who broke the deadlock early on with an R9 finesse shot on the edge of the box. Someone you don't leave with that much space, but it was a response from Complexity, played across the ball. And again, R9 Ronaldo with the volley. And to complete the turnaround in the first leg for Complexity, it was build up again. Slight fortune there, played across. And again, something that you're going to see that's very, very frequent in FIFA 22 is the play across goal from Complexity. But going into the second leg there, it was the response from Atlanta United, near post Mbappe, to make it 2-2. And there was one more goal to try and get the goal to take the lead. And it was, again, a slice of fortune, but fantastic work there from Paulo Neto. The elastico, the shot in at the near post. You can see how much it means to both of them. And there was another goal here. Fantastic ball over the top. R9 Ronaldo, the person that's been scoring the most goals so far in the FGS Masters, puts the ball in the back of the net and seals the deal for Atlanta United.
Well, that, of course, was your analysis presented by PlayStation Tournaments right there. Well, let's get straight into what we're still yet to see then. Let's jump back into that bracket, Ryan, and see who is going to play next for us in our fourth and final FGS Masters Cup, of course. We've already seen Complexity and Atlanta there. Atlanta United going through and waiting for who is going to join them in that final out of these two teams, of course. It's Inter Esports, the Italian esports team, taking on SPQR's Brazilian team. Let's get a deep dive then into these two teams, starting with Inter Esports. Ryan Pessoa, these are, again, two awesome duos, like we have seen for the past 3 weeks here on the FGS Masters Cup. Ryan, tell us a bit more about Resende.
Yes, Resende is somebody that goes back in the scene. He's had major accomplishments. He's qualified for the World Cup in FIFA 19. He's one of the household names in the South American region, now representing Inter Esports. And of course, speaking about being a champion, he knows what it takes. He's been fantastic throughout the years, winning multiple championships. And of course, he's actually finished runner-up in the Club World Cup, which is, of course, a 2v2 tournament. So we're hoping that that combination of experience and reaching latter stages in tournaments and his expertise at winning as well with his teammate in Tour representing Inter. And of course, again, just having that level of experience and game knowledge is very, very important, especially coming up against a team in the South American region who are very, very good in SPQR. They have two fantastic players representing them today. And it's key to mention there's Rampazzo, but the person we're going to take a deeper dive into is Felipe. This man right here, the youngster, aged just 18. And he is a champion in his own right in FIFA 21, qualifying for the World Cup during the pandemic era, winning the Xbox playoffs in South America, performing fantastically well. And again, he needs that expertise. He has it now. He's still very, very young, but he has a teammate as well who is slightly older than him, but they can do well to cause some damage up against Inter.
Well, of course, there are final 2 FGS Masters Cup teams, of course. We've seen so many great teams over the past 3 weeks. So this is our final semi-final. Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley, as always, have the pleasure of taking you through this one.
Thank you very much, Rachel and Ryan. And yes, we can't wait for this one because it's the first taste we've had of Brazilian esports organisations in terms of course, of not of Inter, but more importantly of SPQR with their Brazilian talent. And let's not forget that Inter might be an Italian-based football club, but they have 2 Brazilian FIFA players within their sort of roster, so to speak, Rich. I'm looking forward to this one because there's quite a few storylines we can go into. And let's not forget, these are 2 more of our FGS Masters teams that will be competing in that Team of the Season Cup in just a few weeks' time.
Absolutely, Brandon. We can have a look at the first team before we dissect the players themselves. This is what they're going to be using on the pitch. Jude Bellingham and Ruud Gullit going to be the 2 holding midfielders with the front 4. Mbappe, Pele, R9 and CR7. Your back 4 is all team of the year. On the other side of the fence, very similar in team selection. I think it might actually be the exact same. Jude and Gullit holding. Expect to see those fullbacks, Hakimi and Cancelo, potentially providing some width in the attacks. Game 2, right around the corner.
Well, the stage is set for a grand final against SPQR, I should say, against Atlanta United's Brazilian duo in Vini and Paulo Neto. 4 Brazilian players here. Let's see how this one plays out. Inter kicking from left to right. The duo of Tor and Resende. I mean, there's a storyline already, Richard, is that Tor used to play as FIFA for SPQR. SPQR, we've described them in past years in terms of FIFA tournaments, is this talent factory that just seem to nourish and nurture Brazilian FIFA players. They sort of come through their ranks, come through their early stage of the career. You look through the list of players they have had on their books. Some of those names include, as we know, Tor, who went to play for Ajax, now he plays for Inter. Also, can't forget Senator Bone.
I mean, if you even go sort of way back, Paulo Neto as well, that's where he sort of got his start as well before moving on to Atlanta United. I think one of the big things that we speak about with SPQR is not only the identifying of talent, which they're outstanding at, but it's then progressing that talent and making it better. First chance of the game, it's a little bit scrappy, but Inter Esports will take it all day long.
Resende, a little bit of a cheeky smile to the camera there. Tor enjoyed that one a bit more. It was a very fortunate goal for Inter. But nevertheless, it's a duo that's only just been formed in the last couple of months for this FIFA 22 season. As you know, Resende's been a resident player at Inter Esports over the last few years. And he's a player that wins a lot. He's a player that gets you to FIFA World Cup finals. He's the player that was a CONMEBOL Libertadores champion last year in FIFA 21. A player that just is consistent, Richard Buckley. And he's a player that doesn't always get the credit he deserves. Can I say a player anymore? I'm not too sure if I can.
He's an athlete, he's a competitor, a champion, really. And if you did a tally chart of the amount of championships on this game right now, it being the 10s. Great reply though from SPQR. Rampazzo and Felipe, 2 players within their own right. They win tournaments. You can't forget Felipe, he was the playoff champion only last summer.
Here's another example of SPQR and what they've been able to do. Felipe did qualify for the FIFA World Cup final last year. That came off the back of him actually winning qualifier number 5 in South America. A region that we know only too well, Richard. We covered it all last year in the online era. Both on the PlayStation, on the Xbox, you saw a number of storylines and surprises. There was one man that stopped Resende from picking up more trophies on his console, and it was Felipe that did that. As you rightly said, he went on to continue that form and become a playoff champion. Ever since then, he has been a name that we have to talk about. His teammate Rampazzo is also just as experienced. Might not have been One of the big headline players last year, but nevertheless had some results and top 2 finishes. They came in qualifying number 1 and number 2 last year when he was playing his FIFA for R10, Ronaldinho's esports organisation. Alongside that, he had a decent run in the FIFA E Club World Cup. Changed teams in the summer as a new game came out. Ever since then, he's been waiting to compete with his new teammate, his new team of SPQR. See Jude Bellingham getting on both sides of the pitch as SPQR come forward. That team of the year, João Cancelo, has been incredible. We were just commentating over him last weekend in the Premier League, every single game, rightly so. Premier League restriction or not, he's going to be featuring regardless.
Yeah. A permanent in those Premier League squads and a permanent feature in these squads as well. Maybe until team of the season where there could be a better foot item released. But I think Hakimi, Cancelo, they've locked those positions up, certainly. Even Marquinhos at centre-back. We're not seeing sort of prime icon moments Maldini, are we? He's nowhere to be seen in these squads.
Inter on the hunt after that very fortunate own goal. We haven't really seen a proper chance from them in these sort of areas. Well, it has a shot from distance. Doesn't look like the perfect shot, though. I think what's interesting for me this year, Rich, is to see how so many good FIFA players in 1v1 environments get on in a 2v2, because there's so much more to learn. There's so much more to grasp when you're relying on a teammate, defensively, offensively.
It's the communication. It's also the ability to read the situation. When you're playing 1v1, you're in complete control over what's happening. In 2v2, something could happen with your teammate. Big chance, great finish. Across the goalkeeper, the lateral heel-to-heel, set it up. SPQR turned this game right on its head.
Yeah, incredible start. Rampazzo with the finish as well, with the white icon above his head. Keep an eye out for that, Felipe with the yellow. Speaking of Brazilian players, it is another one who's on the score sheet. Prime icon moment, R9 will give SPQR a 2-1 lead. Credit where it's due, because they could have easily been a bit frustrated after conceding an own goal just minutes into the game. But if anything, it's fueled them up and got them going. They've scored 2 goals in the space of 40 minutes.
Just finishing that point before the chance went for SPQR, you have to be reactive, because your teammate could do something unpredictable, and then you have to be very quick and very switched on to see what is going to be the sort of instant solution.
Be a chance. And away, it was a brilliant finesse that won the corner originally. Chance still could be alive. Mbappe finds Hullet. Looking to build up Pele. There's an overlapping run available if he wants to find Cristiano Ronaldo. Instead, to try and go on his own. That's Resende with the red icon above his head, and the blue icon is Tor if you're looking to follow any individual players input into this team. Any time of a minute. Mbappe, what's the back post? It could be available. Ronaldo. Dispossessed. Half-time here. It's been 3 goals already, and it's been quite an interesting half, but I'm going to go on a limb and say quite a poor half from Inter, to be honest, Rich. I expected a bit more from Resende and Tor. Yes, they went ahead with quite a fortunate goal. But other than that, it's been all SPQR.
It certainly has, and this is how the first half has gone down. It was a whipped sort of driven pass into the box. Managed to just get a touch on it, did Resende. However, SPQR answered straight back 10 minutes later. Fired the ball into R9. He twisted and turned into CR7, who dispatched at the near post. 20 minutes later, Mbappe, lateral heel-to-heel into R9, left-footed strike across the goalkeeper. There were the highlights from the first half. Let's get the second half back underway.
If you haven't been following these Masters Cups, it's a $15,000 first prize in these tournaments. They've been happening all throughout March. You win this game, you're guaranteed $5,000 for the grand final spot get knocked out in the semi-finals. It's $2,500 too. Teams that finish third and fourth. Of course, that is to be split between two players. SPQ are looking for a third. Bellingham to drop the shoulder. That's Rampazzo controlling the English youngster. He's possessed his Huller. Resende and Tor on the hunt for a better performance in this second 45. Pele. The box has options around him towards the back post. Ronaldo's got a leap, as we know. Cuts back to R9. One more. Mbappe! It's a better start from the Italian team.
Starting the second half, just as they did the first half. Within the first 5 minutes of the restart, getting a goal. Kylian Mbappe, he will do it in celebration. Inter Esports back in the tie.
Much better start for the Italian football club. Inter back in the hunt. SPQR with all to do. Remember, every game played over 2 legs, aggregate scoreline being the ultimate score will determine who makes it to the grand final. To face off against Atlanta United, we saw Paolo Neto and his teammate in Vini take down one of the best teams in team competitions in competitive FIFA over the last few years. Team Complexity, they beat them 4-2.
What a second leg performance it was. Do you know what? I'm just so excited for Brandon. Seeing all these teams together against each other.
Touch wood in person too.
Oh, cannot wait.
Certainly will be a different atmosphere and excitement in the room. On that team of the season, come get it in your diaries, April 29th to May 1st. We'll see 32 2v2 teams battle out. What I believe is a fast-track ticket through to the FIFA E Club World Cup. Chance to also call themselves champions. Will be one of the only LAN event 2v2 matches.
Not only that, but seeing
22 season.
Seeing players who maybe we've never really seen on LAN before playing in arguably the biggest competition this year so far. Players like Matthias Bonanno, Levi De Weed on the global stage. The return of Desari against Tex. The return of Nicholas to a LAN event. Oh, gets the juices flowing.
Marcelo. Last 18 here. Probably we'll see a pause in the next few minutes. Well, we'll see some fresh legs introduced. Remember, players are playing on a special esports edition of FIFA 22 where they can select a handful of players, hence why you have been seeing these so-called stacked teams with the likes of Prime Icon Moment, so team of the years, maybe the odd future star.
It's the best of the best in the squad selection. And it's only right that these players can use the very sharpest of tools in their arsenal to do damage with.
Oh no, teasing a finesse potentially, so it's Resende in control, lovely ball, Acroqueta, Resende with the final touch. And it's Mbappe again that finds the goal that will put them in the leads. A much, much better second half. As they talk and celebrate between the two of them, absolutely superb. The Lacroqueta pass there opened up the space. It was a one more pass scenario. They always say that one more pass makes all the difference, and it certainly did there, Richard Buckley, with Resende having the final touch to tap that into the back of the net.
It was just the patience. Holding the play, Lacroqueta pass, Rude Hullet. Didn't even think about where the ball was going. It was always going on the extra pass. It was always going the one more into Mbappe. He was coming in to slot it in from right striker. And that is what the 4-4-2 will give you as well. You'll always have that extra pass, whether it's the left striker to the right striker, whether it's the right striker over to the right mid. You should always have an extra player there. On the flip side of the coin, SBQR, look, they found themselves behind, then they were in front, and now with 30 minutes left to play here in leg number 1, back in a trailing position. The question is, what do they have up their sleeve? Do they have a reply before we end leg number 1?
There's quite a few people in the room there with SPQR's side of things. The coaches keeping an eagle eye on the game, doing their best to break down what has gone wrong for SPQR. There is still a second leg to play, do not forget that. We're in our second semi-final, week 4 of the Masters Cup. Pullet finds Mbappe, maybe an equaliser, brilliant little cancel of a skill move and a fake shot there. Stamo in possession, oh wow!
Moments like that, the individual brilliance. So close. And what a reply as well.
Yeah, that was Rampazzo there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Having that flair side to his game. Paul
What
from
a player
Tor runs
as well.
another play.
What a player Rampazzo is.
Player that we saw quite early into the FIFA 21 season, Richard. It was a top 3 finishing qualifier #1 on the Xbox and took the PlayStation set and backed it up the top 2 qualifier #2. That was enough for him to send him into the playoffs. We didn't see much more of him after that last year.
Inter certainly looking to slow this down as we come into the final stages here of leg number 1. The damage has already been done though. An early goal in the first half, an early goal in the second half, and then just that one with 10 minutes left on the clock to send them into a winning position going into leg number 2. SBQR with plenty to ponder in the break.
They were losing. Now they're going to be into this leg in a winning position. We've played additional time. It'll be the last chance if it will be allowed to play it. It'll be cleared long by SBQR at the halfway point in our second semi-final of the FGS Masters Cup. It is smiles all round for the Inter duo as they lead SBQR by 3 goals to 2. It's all to do for SBQR in the second leg. If they wish to join Atlanta United in the grand final here in week 4, all will be answered after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
What's going on, guys? Olelito here, I'm back. Now, in this masterclass, I will be showing you the attacking abilities that comes with the 4-5-1 second variation. We're starting with the wing here. We're getting the ball into the middle, and we have the ball with our right CM, and then turning it on to our central CM. And as you see here, we have the perfect triangle. So if I were to pass it to my left CM here, I can go for a direct pass to my other CM again, because I have this triangle, and the centimeter that he is selecting, he can't do anything because he can't put pressure when he basically is defending against 3 midfielders in the middle. The thing I do here though, with my central center mid, I'm passing it to my left center mid, and as I showed you on the tactics before, my left center mid is always unbalanced. And why? That's because I want him to make a run in behind to be able to maybe get the ball in a later stage of the attack. And the thing that happens then is that I'm doing an L1 pass with my left center mid, which makes him create a run in behind afterwards. And we find the pass back to our center mid, as you see here, finding it to the right center mid. The thing that happens here is that I see that my striker is in the middle. And why is he? Yeah, because I used him on stay central in my instructions. So he's staying central, he is the target man. I found my left center mid, and he's almost scoring because of it. Thank you so much for watching my masterclass. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, see you on the pitch.
Well, welcome back to the FGS Masters Cup. Before we jump into this second half of this semi-final, do keep in mind that we have got the FGS Team of the Season Cup going down between April 29th and May 1st, where 32 2v2 teams will be battling out for a lump sum of cash. Make sure you tune in for that and mark it in your diaries. Before that, though, Richard, we need to complete this story. Halfway point as we go into the second half of it in the semi-final. Inter Esports went 1-0 up, they went 2-1 down, but then somehow ended the first leg 3-2 winners. Still another leg to play, though.
Yeah, still a big second leg is going to be coming up. And if you look back at the data, you look at the first match that we saw between Complexity and Atlanta, the second leg is where the game turned and it twisted in Atlanta's favour. 3 second leg goals to separate the two sides.
It'll be Inter from right to left in this one. SBQR in their own esports kit in the game of FIFA 22. From left to right, they actually had a remarkable start to that second, or the first leg I should say, after going 1-0 down via an own goal. They scored 2 goals in the space of about 25 minutes following it. Felipe with the red cursor above his head, it will be Rampazzo! Wow! He's onside! He didn't look it, did he?
No, he certainly didn't look it. But they strut away in style. Do SBQR 3 apiece. Wherever this game goes, whatever you can do, I can do better. And if you missed it, if you're out getting a drink in between the 2 legs and you thought, you know what, I'll come back. What, there's already been a goal? Let me show you back. It was an offside trap. It was timed horrifically from Inter Esports, and SBQR found themselves with a golden opportunity. Simple pass across. It was a square ball and an easy finish for SPQR. This pause being queued here. Conversations happening. SPQR look very happy as they've just
been so open, hasn't it? It's been such an interesting semi-final, this one, Richard. It swung both ways, back and forth a number of times. Again, that comes back to whoever's queued the offside trap. That's one of the duos there. One of the players in the duo, I should say. Someone has to take responsibility for that. Yes, it can be efficient. Yes, it can be effective. But on that occasion, it didn't go to plan.
I think it would be Sende, as he was the red icon in the first game. So he would be the player making the substitutions, the one inputting that. He would be the one controlling the goalkeeper movements or the offside trap. Unfortunately, just timed half a second too late, and that is the danger of the offside trap. It can be a great device and a great tactic to press your team up and win the ball back, but if it goes wrong, it typically, Brandon, leads to a goal-scoring opportunity. Oh, what is happening?
Something in the back there, it's Mbappe, it's the back of R9, just about keeps hold of it, there's Inter. Tor picks it up, keep an eye on him with the white icon above his head. Ball did fall through to R9 a little bit nicer. It could have been a different storyline. It still can be a different storyline now. They all square at 3-3, 6 goals, nothing to separate the two. Mbappe, nicely done, finds R9, drops the shoulder, still just about in possession. With the help of Pele to try and just drive this ball across the goal. Very patient are Inter. Waiting for the perfect time to strike the perfect pass to cut open the defence. Eventually, Kinos will just stick out a left boot. The SBQR back in possession.
You mentioned this game swinging back and forth, and I think that's because no one's really able to control it. The goals that we've seen have been very quickly followed by each other, or they've been within sort of the first 10 minutes of the kick-off, the game getting back underway. There's not been a period of play where there's been control over the game. SBQR scored on the 35th minute, 10 minutes after half-time, Inter were back in the game. Inter then scored when it was 2-2 after a long period, and then it was the end of the game. So there's been very short periods of leads the longer periods of the matches have been in these tied scenarios.
Ronaldo. Just teeing up that line. It was João Cancelo in possession. It links back with his Manchester City counterpart, Ruben Dias. Ball switched across the pitch eventually. Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, he's not going to hit it from that far out. Again, tries to find the key to unlock the door of this SPQR defence. They're piling on the pressure. They're setting the team in control. And this is where SPQR have to be aligned and communicate. Not to fall into the trap that Inter want them to. They have to stay compact, they have to stay organised. However, that's going to be so difficult when you've got the likes of Mbappe. Dropping skill moves, Elasticos. Ball rolls. Pele now has his chance. Nice heavy touch, cuts it back. It was quick, it was fierce. It was a good block again from Marquinhos.
Right place, right time as the ball got fired back into the penalty area. There was just an SPQR shirt there to stop it. It was a guaranteed goal. I love the dribbling though. I love the calmness of it, really. Yes, they're trying to go forward and they're trying to score, but nothing seems rushed at the moment for Inter Esports when they're in possession in these high intensity scenarios in and around the box.
Ronaldo, steal one. Oh, and he timed it green. It was a brilliant save, from Van der Sar. Inter really knocking on the door, and SPQR doing their best to keep that door shut.
This is such an enjoyable game to watch. I'm sitting back and I'm just enjoying what I'm seeing. It's end-to-end FIFA. It's played at such a high level. And absolutely nothing to separate these two.
SPQR had a chance for quite some minutes in this first half of the second leg. 3-3 is the aggregate scoreline if you have just tuned into this FGS Masters Cup. You join us for week 4. Missed the action so far. It's Atlanta United that are in the grand final after defeating Complexity 4-2. This will be the last chance of the half, you'd like to say. Added time to the follow of just a minute. Their second. No added time, actually. This will be literally last chance. So one back by Inter. That should do us for the first 45 in this second leg. Still nothing to separate the two teams here, Richard.
Absolutely nothing to separate these two at the halfway mark. It was SPQR with an early goal in this second period. You can see the stats there at the halfway point. The XG in the favour of SPQR. It was that one chance that they created. Just having a little look throughout the rest of the stats. Possession slightly in favour of SPQR. If you did miss the opening goal in this second leg, this was what you may have missed. Jude Bellingham, he fired the ball into Ruud Gullit. The offside trap came out. The players came forward. Not quick enough. Simple finish for SPQR as we get back underway in leg number 2, second half, about to commence. Everything's still up in the air.
What's more mental, Richard, is that SPQR had such a good start in this second leg. They went up by a goal to them in just 7 minutes, but other than that, it was all Inter, really. I know the stats half-time gave you quite a showcase of a very narrow half. It was a narrow half, there wasn't much in it, but it certainly felt like Inter had a lot more of the ball and a lot more of the better chance. I wouldn't say clear-cut chances, but they looked like the better team that ended that first half. Underway. Win this game, you're guaranteed $5,000. You win the Masters Cup tonight, you get $15,000 and a huge confidence booster heading into the Team of the Season Cup in just a few weeks' time, where both of these two teams will be competing. Who knows, they might even have a rematch. Pull out position massively in the midfield. Picks it up once and twice, finds Pele. Come back, R9, fake shot, takes the shot, it's still bouncing around the box, and eventually he's dealt with Moving into shirt.
I think, just looking at that chance when we saw it in live, there was an opportunity to pass it across. I'm sure we'll see it, we'll break it down later on. I'll watch the footage back, but just as he took that shot on with the left foot there, there looked to be a pass to the left-hand side, and it's those small margins, those small moments where the game could be won and lost.
Kimi. It's a bit of a forward on the far-hand side, the Parisian. And the ball follows its way out to the other side. The pitch last 30 minutes here. If we are all square, we will go into extra time. The team, rightly so. Or wanting to go through that scenario. Hello. Away Steele looking for a cutback if he can find it. To drop the shoulder. Can't do so. Still just doing his best to disrupt this SPQR backline. Hullet. Hakimi. Jude Bellingham. Is he going to be the man to let rip from this far out? Going to probably pass it across to safer hands in R9. Not for so long. In this moment, one goal could be enough.
I think it certainly will be. I'm just the patience and maybe the reluctancy to give the ball away is what we're seeing right now. And just as I say that, he dribbles the ball out of play, uncontested error. Just the commentator for sure there, but it's a fine balance what you're playing with right now because the time's ticking down. And this is an internal battle that the players will be dealing with. How much stock do we put in getting a goal? How much stock do we put in defending? Offside trap again, it's poor. Got away with it this time. They need to be careful with that Inter Esports because they will get caught out.
As we've said a few times, it can work in your advantage if done well, or can be a disaster as we saw within the first 8 minutes of this leg where an offside trap was played by Inter. SPQR are able to just outsmart the back line. The timing of the run was everything. The pause comes in for the side of SPQR. Will they get a chance to make a change? 12 minutes left of this one. Will there be a late goal? Maybe this could be now. Hullet for Inter, looking for the cutback, win a corner. And into the pause menu we shall go now. We'll keep you up to date with the changes that will be made by the likes of Eusebio, Zidane, De Bruyne. The list goes on of good players that are on the bench, and they're raring to come on.
We see the live shots there of Resende and Tor for Inter. SPQR in the same location. Rampazzo and Felipe, plus a whole selection of coaches and guests at the back there. There must be at least 6 people in that room, Brandon.
I count about 4, but even so, probably need a coach and
hype man.
That's about it.
Get the pom-poms out.
So on the flip side, it looks as if Tor and Resende are at the comfort of both of their own homes. We have questioned that in the past, whether that is something to look at. Can be a difference. Yes, you can communicate, but not experience those same emotions in person that you can online, which has been a big help for a number of teams. Whether we say that, Guild Esports. A few weeks ago were able to crown themselves as in the grand final.
There's definitely sort of outliers where I think you say that team did really well not being together, but I think for the most part, you would say being in the same location, playing next to each other, the majority of pros would want that. They'd want to be in that scenario. Obviously, there's a few teams who just defy the script almost. You said Guild there, and then we always go back to it, the FGS Open, the Paris Open. They'll be at the Team of the Season Cup. Levante, Maestro and Paps, they barely even spoke during the game.
Yeah, they came out on top and qualified themselves for the Team of the Season Cup. That's going to do us. 180 minutes. And there is nothing to separate the two teams here in the FGS Masters Cup semi-finals. The first game that produced 5 goals, and the second leg that only produced 1. It came in the 8th minute. Other than that, there hasn't been too much to cheer about. Richard, those are the stats at the end of the game before we jump into 30 minutes of extra time.
Yeah, the possession was slightly in favour of Inter Esports, but they did hold the ball for probably the last 4 or 5 minutes of the clock. So I imagine it sort of played into their favour in that particular avenue. XG slightly in favour of SPQR, but really only 2 shots each. There's really not a lot of data to look at there when we go down the statistics coming out of the game. Passing accuracy, 94 and 91%, both very, very high and very accurate in their distribution of the ball. We are back underway, 30 additional minutes and potentially a penalty shootout to see who will be taking on Atlanta United in our grand final of week 4.
Saying that, Lionel Messi comes onto the pitch for Inter. Maybe he could be the man. The Sen Resende and Tor into their first ever grand final as a duo. To yet to find the back of the net in this second leg. They scored 3 goals after being in a difficult position in leg 1. Who knows, penalty shootout might even come into play. And in a 2v2 format, someone saves, someone takes every single time. It'll be an interesting way to decide a grand final. So we don't need to go there yet though. Mbappe on the hunt for Team SPQR. Highline holds the ball up well, a little reverse elastico just to try and buy a bit of time and a bit of space. It's certainly enough.
We've been in this predicament a lot over the last few years, Brandon. Extra time and penalties. It flies by, we always say it.
Bullet. Bellingham, R9, still just a bit wide on the possession, went for an elastico, gets the ball back just a bow, it was whipped across. Unfortunately, just too fast for Cristiano Ronaldo to react.
For half a second, it looked like the chance just opened up and then the door got slammed shut by Inter Esports. He was trying to manipulate the ball in the way to create another angle and potentially get another striking opportunity off. And we're at the end of half-time already. We're at half-time already, I should say, in added time.
Jude Bellingham can't squeeze that one through. So long ball clear, 15 minutes played, only 15 minutes to go here in the semi-final. The pressure rises for both teams. There is still no clear winner.
I don't know if it's just you, but I always feel as though the first half of extra time goes a lot quicker than the second half, and it's complete placebo. It's all in our head, but it always seems like that first half, the first 15, absolutely flies by. In the second 15, where it gets a little bit more nervy, and we start to see a little bit sort of a few more risks taken to try and win the game before the dreaded penalty shootout. It always, around the 114th, 115th minute, the game, when we're seeing it here, it becomes so intense.
Well, words will be spoken Between both sets of players, final thoughts and the final tactics implemented here. Chance to get to the grand final, a chance to play for $15,000 up for grabs. Neither team got a goal in them. Well, we're going to have to go to the dreaded penalty spot to decide who will be going through. Inter might have other ideas though, as they look to strive forward. Ronaldo back to goal, Mbappe! He's been the star of the show for Inter.
Big match player performs in the big moments. Does Kylian Mbappe and Inter Esports, Resende and Tor, they've been around, they've seen it all. And this was potentially, I'm not going to jinx it, but the winning goal. Ruud Gullit. He fires the ball into CR7. Found Mbappe just in a lovely pocket of space. Picked it up in between central midfielder and centre-back. Not tight enough to him, not close enough to him. And a very easy finish when you consider the stats that Mbappe possesses. I'm sure lots of tactical and formation changes being implemented right now with only 10 minutes left to play. It is a single elimination tournament here at the Masters Cup, so if you lose this game for SPQR, that is the tournament over.
Yeah, I can assure you on the side of Inter, it's probably going to be the case of everyone back behind the ball and do our best to hold on to this lead for the last 11 minutes. On the flip side for SPQR, you can imagine what's being changed and what's being implemented as they have to go for this game. Credit where it's due, though. They did brilliantly well, Inter. Just used Ronaldo as a bit of a decoy there, just to suck out the midfield, just to suck out, I believe, one defender, open up the perfect passing lane for Mbappe to just find the pocket of space that he was looking for. And that was the goal that could be enough to send them into the Masters Cup final.
A few defensive changes being made. I think it was a 4-2-3-1, and Patrick Vieira brought on there for Inter.
Certainly will get a chance. Well, SPQR, it's just if they can take it. As Inter, no doubt, will look to just suck out minutes from this game. Long ball forward. Finds Mbappe. Mbappe still, Gullit, chance to seal the deal. He's doing so well to hold it up. Finds the back post. Well, it looks like Eusebio is lurking. This could not compete in the air with João Cancelo. SPQR will have their final roll of the dice with just 3 minutes left plus additional time here. It's been a battle of the four Brazilians. Will it go the full way? Oh, he went on his own. I think it was João Cancelo there that found himself in so much space. Looked in towards the danger spot. Ronaldo's there. So is Ruben Dias, his Portuguese national teammate.
Oh, it's gone.
It's fallen.
Possession turned over, yeah.
To the hands of Inter with just seconds left and minutes left.
One more chance.
Yeah, it looks as if they might have done enough or not. SPQR, this is your last chance. Massive block at the back from Ruben Dias and Ruud Gullit. That's a really risky pass. Luckily for Inter, no, just get the ball clear.
That's a foul, that's a foul. He's going to give it the goal free kick. One more chance.
Panic stations for Inter. All they had to do was just get the foot through the ball and clear it out of play. Now, they've given SPQR one more chance to get a goal back in this game. They find João Cancelo, cut back inside Mbappe, defended well eventually. And Inter Esports, they kept us guessing right until the end, will snatch an extra time winner in a 7-goal thriller. There will be enough to send them into the grand finals. Wow, we needed more than 180 minutes. We needed 210 minutes of FIFA gameplay to decide that one. It'll be Inter Esports versus Atlanta United in the Masters Cup grand final. We're off for a quick break. When we get back, we'll be joined by our very own Rachel Stringer and Manchester City's FIFA Pro, Ryan Pessoa. We'll see you in a few.
Hey guys, my name is Max. I'm a professional FIFA player for Complexity Gaming, and today I'm going to teach you how to use the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow second variation. So for our first pattern here, we're going to be looking at how we use fullbacks to create space when attacking. Once we win the ball back, the first thing that I do is I trigger my fullback on a run manually. So now you see my fullback at the top of the screen. He's running down the right side, and so is my striker. That leaves 2 attackers down the right side, and he only has 1 left back. Once I recognize this, I have the ball with my center mid, and we just play the ball. Now here in this position, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys running, darting into the box, and he has 5 defenders that can cope with it. So I look into the box, I see there's no one there initially, so I have to recycle the play and go backwards. An open pass comes back, my center mid drops back, and then we're going to just keep passing. There's an open guy almost always in the narrow around the box. As we mentioned earlier, we got tackled, but the key thing is that we managed to advance the ball into his box off of like a 5-second attack. Hey guys, thank you for watching my 4-1-2-1-2 masterclass video. See you on the pitch.
The FIFA Global Series Masters Cups are presented by PlayStation Tournaments. Yes, and this is the FGS Masters Cup week 4, our final set of mini tournaments in March. And please, guys, get involved with us on social media. We always love to hear from you. Just use the hashtag FGS22. We are all over socials, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Well, let's just quickly bring you up to speed then on what's unfolded already tonight. Complexity, well, they took on Atlanta. Atlanta coming out 4-2 over the 2 legs, of course, sealing their final spots. And then Inter Esports just getting the job done in extra time over SPQR. 4-3 overall just there. So Atlanta United and Inter Esports are your finalists for our 4th and final FGS Masters Cup. Ryan Pessoa is back with us. Right, let's quickly have a look at this final then. Again, Atlanta and Inter, 2 experienced teams, I'm guessing. Inter, though, very experienced. Did you expect them to do the business tonight?
I felt as if they started a little bit sloppy. They did score initially, as we will take a look into the highlights soon. But again, I felt as if there was a little bit of some mistakes that they could iron out going into the final. But they've done enough to win the game, and that's all that matters.
Well, Atlanta as well, though. Do you think Paulo Neto is still riding the EMLS Cup kind of wave that he won there and bringing Vinny along for the ride?
Absolutely. You can see in his gameplay, the goals that he scored, you can see it's just resonating in the way and the style that he's showing, scoring the goals as well. And yeah, again, when you win a cup so recently, coming into something as big as the FGS Masters, when there's a lot on the line, it can give you that huge boost of confidence.
Yeah, totally. Well, guys at home, as always, we want you to pick who you think is going to be our Week 4 champion. Remember, last week, guys, you were 89% incorrect. You thought Team Falcons was going to get the job done over Heretics, and it didn't happen, of course. So, guys, at the moment, you're going with Inter over Atlanta. 79% of you. Well, I always love this one because we'll have to wait and see if 79% of you are right, of course. Okay then, well, let's get into the analysis presented by PlayStation Tournaments of that Inter extra time win then with Ryan Pessoa.
Yes, I spoke about Inter starting off well and started off with what they'd done. They got their first goal in the first leg almost instantly. It was a slice of fortune though. It goes down as an own goal, but again, at this level, you have to take what comes your way. But again, it was a fantastic response from SPQR. A well-worked goal coming onto Ronaldo's stronger right foot. And again, another response on Ronaldo's left foot to make it 2-1. But it was a response from Inter, and it was a fantastic worked goal. Headed across, played across again for that simple finish, a trademark FIFA 22 goal as we go into the second leg. Now, it was an offside trap at the beginning of the leg for Inter that didn't work well, and they conceded from it. But they go into extra time. They redeem themselves. No else, who other than Mbappe, to fire the ball home and put them into the final up against Atlanta. It'll be a huge game, huge stakes, and some huge players as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the analysis presented by PlayStation Tournaments of Inter's highlights there. Well, let's go back then to Atlanta, who were our winners, Ryan, of semi-final 1, of course. And I remember Palinetto, he scored a pretty special goal, I believe, from CR7. And yeah, let's have a quick look at it because we should just show you because it was pretty special. Ryan, do you want to just take us through why you enjoyed this one?
Absolutely. I think it's key just to go over some of the goals. We saw them break the deadlock early on from that finesse shot, but it was just a number of fantastic goals here. They were very composed in front of goal, but it was this goal and particularly the dribbling on the byline with CR7, the ball roll scoop. Again, a slice of fortune, but it was perfect here. The fake shot, the elastico in at the near post. And it was another goal there to put the nail in the coffin for Atlanta United with Arna Ronaldo lofted over the goalkeeper with the shot there. And it gave them the comfortable lead in the end. But again, we need to go into something from the team itself. Atlanta United tweeting about Paulo Neto's goal. That would give him another huge boost of confidence. We saw how fantastic that goal was as well. So having and getting the recognition from the team you represent is always fantastic to see.
Fantastic, of course. I think both teams will be pretty confident, though, Ryan, won't they? Atlanta and Inter, of course. They are your finalists, your fourth and final finalists for this FGS Masters Cup series of mini tournaments we've brought you. And for the final time, I'm going to hand it over to Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley.
Thank you very much, Rachel and Ryan. Grand final time here in week 4 in what has been an incredible last 4 weeks of FIFA esports. A small taster of what is to come, as we said, later in April for the Team of the Season Cup. Richard, what a final we have planned and what a game this one plans to be. 2 football clubs going head-to-head. The American side of Atlanta United up against the Italian side of Inter Esports. Fingers crossed there's goals galore and it will be at a good ending to these Masters Cups.
Yeah, I'm certain it will be, Brandon. Without any further ado, let's get right into the action. Can't wait to see how this one unfolds. Inter Esports and Atlanta United. You mentioned the competitors that we're seeing here. The American team in Atlanta United, the Italian, but 4 Brazilians on the pitch.
There's an interesting stat around both of these two teams in terms of the quality of players they've given them. Here comes Atlanta off the start. Wow, it didn't take him long. 4 minutes, 11 seconds to get going in this grand final. And the stat I wanted to make was that in his career, Palinetto, he's been to 9 grand finals. He might not have won them all, but every single time he gets there, or to any sort of tournament, he seems to make some noise. I think in his competitive career, it's only been 3 times he's placed outside the top 8 of any competitive tournament he's been in. The man is a born winner, and I'm sure that's rubbing off on his teammate in Vinny, as they've just had the perfect start to this grand final.
What a start for Atlanta United. You mentioned Paulo Neto, he's just a serial winner. He really is. He gets the finals, he gets the championship moments, and look, out of all the players over the FGS Masters, Brandon, he's the most recent winner, MLS Cup win. And what a win it was as well in that league competition. Confidence is a big thing in FIFA esports. I was surprised with the poll. I was really surprised.
MLS Cup win it was, Richard. It came against King CJ. 5-3 in that grand final that took place on the 13th of March this year. Cleared out of play for a corner. Inter's first chance to try and cause some havoc. They do here. Now towards the front post. Still flicking on. And it will fall into the hands of Edwin van der Sar. On the flip side, 4. You can't look past Resende's achievements, Richard, individually. He is also a born winner. He's won a lot since he's been playing his FIFA Inter.
Absolutely. He's such a prolific FIFA player, is Resende. And he's one of those players as well that he's global. He's such a star when it comes to FIFA esports, and really is recognised not only in South America but worldwide as a player who gets to major competitions, who wins tournaments.
Could be 2. Vinny finds Paulo Neto. Could be 2. Just wide. Good hands from Van der Sar. I'll tell you what, the little break that they've had over the last, 40 minutes or so for Atlanta United, they have just been raring and ready to go, no matter who it was going to be in the grand final for them. Look at the intensity from the start here. It's R9 again, can't find a way through, goes for a corner. Atlanta United looking to try and build 2-goal cushion as soon as they can in this grand final. Remember, it's played over 2 legs again. R9, good feet, ball roll. Does get past one man, doesn't get past R9 though, funny enough, was back defended.
Atlanta United at the moment look dangerous from set pieces, I tell you. Couple of corners.
Keep an eye on Resende with that yellow icon above his head into get tall, controlling the white player icon. The flip side, Resende, I should say Paulo Neto with the red, and his teammate Vinny with the blue icon above his head. I think it was Vinny that scored the opening goal for Atlanta United here. Very different semi-finals both of these two did have. Atlanta United won 4-2 against Complexity, one of the most dominant teams in the competitive scene after being actually down by a goal as well. They were able to fight their way back to a 2-goal cushion, which was enough to guide them through. Also on the flip side for Inter, it required extra time and the last grasp winner from Kylian Mbappe in the 110th minute. What was a 7-goal thriller.
Best game of the FGS Masters, would you say, that one, between SPQR and Inter? We've watched a lot of games over the last 4 weeks.
I think it was the most unpredictable game of all. No one really took a hold or a standpoint of the match at all. Van der Sar gets the ball back. He was able to remain composed that phase to get the ball back in a difficult position. Zidane finds the feet of Mbappe. This is Inter now looking for their first real chance in this grand final so far. Mbappe still the hero of the semi-final, very nearly. Said goodbye and see you later to 2 or 3 Atlanta United defenders there. With the outside of the boot, that one was flying into the back of the net.
He was seeing space that I simply could not see. Mbappe there, he was twisting and turning and driving into the penalty area. And it is dangerous when you're faced up against a striker, especially when they're controlled by players of this quality. when they're twisting, when they're turning. You can't dive into a tackle, but you also can't give them space to work into. It's a real precarious position to be in.
Last chance of the first half it. For just 4 minutes, Atlanta did open up their account in the grand final. They'll be able to find a second before the break. It's R9. Palinetto was the player to let rip there with the shot. Fortunate enough, Ruben Diaz was in line. We'll jump in to see some stats if we can at half-time in this grand final. You can see the players on the screen now. The two, Resende and Tor, do trail by a goal to nil in the Masters Cup grand final. This is week 4 of our competition. Richard, let's have a look at the stats half-time between the two.
We can see at the moment, possession very, very even when it comes to that area of the pitch. The XG, literally the exact same at the moment. Passing accuracy, we've had 45 minutes of FIFA. We've got 4 players on the pitch. 96%. But if you actually look at the passing itself, Atlanta United, 81 passes to the 48 of Inter. To me, that shows they're moving the ball a lot quicker. They're moving it more frequently. However, Inter dribbling a little bit more, keeping hold of the ball for a few extra seconds when they get it, and that's their approach to this grand final. It's up in the air.
I'll be hoping that on the side of Inter Esports, Resende can install a bit of that winning mentality into him and his teammate Tori. Made 3 grand finals last year, did Resende in FIFA 21. He won all 3 of them. That coming across multiple qualifiers and the CONMEBOL Libertadores, a tournament that unfortunately wasn't able to make this year in the Global Series. He was basically disappointed not to be there. What a ball that could be! 2 hands on it from Van der Sar. Ronaldo was in the air with that typical jump that he offers you. And if it was just a little bit softer on the ball, it may have been a different story.
They're certainly playing the long game at the moment. Inter Esports, I say that, they've got a potential chance here. Finesse shot high, wide, all over the crossbar. 2 players, especially when you've got someone with the experience that Resende possesses, and Tor for that matter, he World Cup grand finalist in his own right, they're not going to panic. It's not going to be a sort of knee-jerk reaction to try and get back into the game. This could force one though.
Best to get out of that position. Back on that point of Tor, he's certainly a player that has got experience. He's had experience at other European football clubs. As you said, he had a spell at Ajax in his career. Back to Brazil for a period to play FIFA 4 Cruzeiro. However, in his career, he's only ever played in 2 grand finals, and he's actually never won one of them. Those dating back to previous FUT Champions Cups. As you rightly said, he has been a FIFA E World Cup Grand Final, something that only a handful of players can say they've done in their FIFA career. On the hunt are the Italian side of Inter. Have to remain patient, but it's so hard to break down Atlanta United. Mbappe, reverse elastico, no way around that time. Doing such a good job, Atlanta. When they haven't got the ball, they are literally just dropping back in the kindest way possible. The 4-4-2 that looks to be on screen is literally just dropping back in its own half. It's 2 banks of 4. It's a case of we're here and we're hard to beat. Do what you can.
Yep. We've got the lead. Break us down. I mean, that's exactly what they're saying. Ruud Gullit in the middle of the pitch alongside Jude Bellingham. 2 physical presences. The wide mid to tuck it in. And it is... it's the case of Inter Esports having to break it.
I watch that run of Hullet. For Marquinhos, it would have been Mbappe the provider.
This wouldn't be the first time though, Brandon, where we've seen a 1-0 in the first leg and that being held until the second leg. Guild did it in week number 2, if you remember back. They won the first game. Was it a Messi 90th minute goal, if memory serves me correct? And then 0-0 in the second leg. Granted, Team Hullet and Ninjas in Pyjamas probably should have got a goal. Peter Schmeichel was on an outstanding performance, maybe the best I've ever seen him play. But it wouldn't be the first time where we've seen this story unfold.
At times, it certainly has felt like the way that some of these 2v2 games are played. You're looking at what, two teams that have got the exact same players in terms of in-game players in their assembly. Players that grind this game out day after day, they know the meta inside out. That's what becomes so competitive in a game of cat and mouse at times. Who can make the first mistake? And often being the only real reason where you'll see the games be broken up. We're going to go into a pause quickly. There's only 8 minutes left of this one. We'll do our best to keep you up to date with the changes that are being made, but looks to just be the traditional personnel change, a little bit later than normal. As you can see, Resende and Tor on the screen there. A few words between them two. On the other side of things, Atlanta United, they are up by a goal to 0. It was Vinny that got that goal in the first 4 minutes. And who knows, you're right to say it, Richard, if we come to the second leg and we get to the same time and it's only a 1-goal lead, it'll be that only goal. Just after 4 minutes, that could be enough to seal the deal and to get them to their first bit of silverware as a 2v2 team heading into that Team of the Season Cup.
Confidence will be high, extremely high. I think high is maybe a little bit of an underselling it when you look at who they've beaten as well. Complexity Gaming will be arguably one of the favourites going into that Team of the Season Cup. They dispatched of them 4-2 when they're taking on Inter Esports, who are regarded as one of the best teams in South America. Looking those guys out as well. There's still a lot of time left to play though.
Final 5 in the first leg. Could we be in for an equaliser from Inter? Mbappe, stop and go. Unfortunately, there's someone else stopping in your way. He's 6 foot plus, his name's Ruben Diaz, and he's an absolute rock at the back.
Presence. The other word that comes to mind for Ruben Diaz. He's just got an overawing presence at the back. He blocks, he wins stand tackles, he wins slide tackles, he defends well. He's got pace as well. How many times have you seen Mbappe running through and Ruben Diaz catch up to him? He ticks every single box you want from your centre-back. Great performance from Atlanta United. I've got to be honest, they got that early goal, they've seen it out, and Inter Esports haven't been able to answer back in the first leg.
Well, it's only halfway point in this story. Who knows how many more twists there shall be in the second leg. At the halfway point in the FGS Masters Cup Grand Final, Atlanta United lead by a goal to 0 over Inter Esports. There's still a second part to this Grand Final, and it's coming up after this very short break. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jamie here, professional FIFA player for Team Footwiz, and today I am back with another EA Masterclass. I'll be focusing on my 2 attacking presets in-game that help you get a goal back when you need to get a win. So in this situation here, as you can see, 2-1 down with about 20 minutes to go in the game. So it's not quite last chance saloon yet. I switched to my attacking tactic, which is press after possession loss. I want to win it back as soon as I lose it in attack. As you can see here, we unfortunately lose the ball and turn it over. But however, our players straight away pressing after we lose our possession to win the ball back in an attacking position, which then means we have an easy shot on target we wouldn't normally have. And now I want to talk to you guys about my ultra attacking tactic, which is my high risk and high reward last chance saloon tactic on FIFA 22. So as you can see here with our ultra attacking tactics set up, we do lose the ball in our opponent's box late on in the game. However, the importance straight away, as you can see on the mini map, in this freeze frame of having 90 depth on our team. The only two players that are back are our centre backs, and that's all you want. Every single other player on the pitch is high up and obviously constant pressure on as well. It means they're suffocating my opponent, and as we progress the clip, we're able to win the ball back in a position like this where we're swarming my opponent's defense and we're able to win the ball back quickly. So that was my attacking and ultra attacking masterclass for you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the pitch.
Well, welcome back to the FGS Masters Cup. For the final time today, we have got a second leg, of course, of this grand final on the way. Before we do that, all of what we are doing over these last 4 weeks and into next month is building up to this for the FGS Team of the Season Cup, a FIFA tournament that'll be running for 3 days with some of the best 2v2 teams in the world. And Richard, I'll bring you into this conversation because this is what the viewers at home said of who they thought were going to win. Currently, it's the 21% vote of Atlanta United that are up by a goal to nil.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Brandon. I don't think the viewers have once. I got it right once all month long during the FGS Masters in the polls that have been taking place. Team Heretics did it last week, Guild in week 2, and Excel were victorious in week number 1. Who will it be rounding out the famous and fabulous 4? Will it be Atlanta United on the left-hand side of your screen? They do lead 1 goal to nil. Or will Inter Esports turn it around? Let's find out.
This is it for the final time today. And the final time this month, the FGS Masters Cup have provided the best starter possible of what is to come next month, when we see 32 teams travel and compete in the first ever 2v2 FIFA tournament run in the FGS ecosystem. Atlanta United will kick from right to left in their white strip. They scored after just 4 minutes in the first leg. Other than that, it was a pretty quiet game, to be honest, Richard.
I think the early goal really settled down Atlanta United. I tell you what, they could double up their lead here.
They might be up to Mbappe. Did very well there. The little ball roll there and a fake shot back inside. It's Palanetto controlling the yellow. Icon. Teammate Vinny with the white. It was Vinny that scored the goal after just 4 minutes in leg 1. Just on the flip side, keep an eye on that red curse if you're looking to follow Resende's in-game movements. Tour with the blue icon above his head in-game. Inter have certainly been a team that have kept us guessing throughout their journey in the Masters Cup. They've never looked massively on top, and then they come out of absolutely nowhere, just like now, to maybe find an equaliser here. Surely! No! How have you missed that? How have you missed that?
It's a guaranteed goal. How has that gone wide? He did everything right. Left-footed strike, inside the box, no pressure on the man.
Literally so much time there, and it should have been a goal for Inter. Fortunately, it's back to the drawing board for Resende and Tor, as they'll scratch their heads at half-time surely and think, how have we not scored that?
How is this game not 1-1? What Inter Esports can't do is let that miss dictate the rest of the game now. They have to have short-term memory, get it out of the system, and flick back into gear.
What they have to take from that as well, Rich, is that they've been able to create a chance. This team do concede goals complexity. They conceded 2 in the semi-final. At times, they do remain to be quite open at the back. Ronaldo. It's a corner, it's for Inter. Try and find their way through. Ball looked in deep, finds Tullet, goes back across to no one, back to a white shirt. Look at that. Big tackle from Cristiano Ronaldo. It kicks off a counter-attack. Pele, good feed, finds Arno, and surely this time, no! It's Van der Sar that stands in the way this time. Before it was the post. Now it's the icon goalkeeper. Inter still on the hunt for that equaliser. They'll get another chance from distance, and it's another brilliant save from the Flying Dutchman, quite literally.
Chance still not over yet, though.
Right to the edge of the box. Pull it. R9 drops the shoulder. Can't find the ball back. Chance to breathe for Atlanta, but 1, 2, 3 very close to comfort moments there, Richard, of Atlanta United nearly conceding a goal.
Yeah, Inter Esports certainly knocking on the door, starting to get back into this game. But they just need to break that deadlock. I think if Inter Esports get the next goal, I think this game could spark into life. I think we might see a couple go in at either end, potentially. But it's a huge ask. Part of me just sees Atlanta United picking Inter off.
Pele. Oh no, could be 2. Just too much time. I don't even expect to get it fizzed into his feet as hard as it was for Mbappe. You can see the chances created so far. 2 shots to the 0 of Atlanta. Maybe that can change now. Mbappe. A couple of step overs, doesn't really move too far. Marquinhos comes across to sweep up the danger. Inter certainly
Go on.
have been the better side within the first 40 minutes or so. Rich will come and get you forward just after this attack comes forward. Another long ball, too heavy with a double tap pass into R9.
What I was going to say is, you mentioned the shots in the top left corner. They might not be creating shooting opportunities, but they're getting in really good opportunities to create chances at the moment, Atlanta United. And you saw that one where it got fizzed back on the edge of the box. They're the opportunities that you want to be creating. They're the chances that you want to be curating, because if you're not getting into those positions, which on another day they are goal-scoring opportunities, the 90 to 95% goal-scoring opportunities, then you've got problems.
Half-time here in the second leg of this grand final. It's a chance for us to have a look at some of the chances that have been missed by the 2 players on your screen of Resende and Torich, because they have created chances so far in this game.
No, they certainly have. That was the big one. I don't know how that's been flashed wide. 27 minutes on the clock. It was Mbappe with an unbelievable save from the goalkeeper. Corner got whipped into the box. Picked up on the edge, another finesse shot. And I think Toll just started to shout Vamos then, and then was cut off as the save came in. 1-0 still. And look, we said 0-0 could happen.
We've seen finesse shots flying from, 30-plus yards on the edge of the box. But you're right. You are right. Onto your point, Guild Esports did it back in week 2. The duo of Nicholas Razek and Nicholas 99, the Iceman. They won 1-0 in their grand final. And their goal came in an added time period in the end of the first leg. That was enough for them to seal the deal, to find their way to a Masters Cup victory and $15,000. That is what is on the line for this grand final. Atlanta find a second. I expect to see a huge shift into a plan B or a plan C from Inter. This time will not be on their side. Bellingham, oh wow, oh wow! How about that? Forget R9, forget Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's just see the two central midfielders link up for a split second. Jude Bellingham with a lovely little chip ball into the box. He finds Ruud Gullit. Not on the highest of priority list of goal scorers, but who really cares? They lead by 2-0, and they are cruising their way towards a Masters Cup victory here tonight.
I think we alluded to it. Inter Esports needed to get that goal. They had a flurry of chances. It didn't fall for them. And Atlanta United just picking them off, just creating a couple of chances, but they've been so clinical, Atlanta as well. When they've had opportunities, when they've created those real good periods of play in and around the box, they're not missing the target, they're not forcing saves, they're scoring goals.
Very nearly. It was to be 3-0 there, Varno. Got to see a pause in the next 5 minutes from Inter. It's got to be a 3 at the back, if not, constant press, get it. Ranked up a few bars. Get some new personnel on the pitch, maybe get off one midfielder, bring on an attacking option, just to have a bit of an overload of 5 attacking players.
Need something.
Final 30 minutes here, Richard, and we said it was like a commentator curse, and if they go down 2-0, we have to see a game plan and a plan B, plan C, or even plan D at this point for Inter. Time's not on their side, neither is the scoreline.
They've just, I think you mentioned it in the first, like the 4-4-2 and sort of the banks that Atlanta United were putting up. It was really hard to break down. They were struggling to create those really good chances. Unfortunately, FIFA Esports at this level is separated by the smallest of margins, and they've created 3 really big chances, 2 really big chances. The finesse shot, sort of a 70-30 opportunity of going into missing, but the 2 big ones, the save and then the miss, if they go in, we've got a completely different game. But that's how it goes.
Another big win chance for Atlanta to literally wrap this game up. Now watch the back post. There's an option available. It just wasn't strong or good enough cross into the box from Cristiano Ronaldo as Pele was queuing up at the back post. There's that pause we queued. The question is, when will they get it, let alone have the chance to really implement those changes in the game. 71 minutes on the clock. 2-0 Atlanta United lead week 4 of the FGS Masters Cup as they get closer and closer to $15,000 in their first outing, and March becomes an even better month for Paolo Neto. Inter, big shot comes in, wicked deflection. Back in the hands of Inter still. What can happen? One more. Did he need to just sort of just put on the toes of Mbappe? He didn't have no real time to manoeuvre or anything, or even click a button back to goal. It'll fall. Nicely done, Mbappe! Another save! How many times they'll be thinking, can Edwin van der Sar save this Atlanta United side?
Yeah, this was the goal that sent Atlanta United into a 2-goal cushion, dicked ball into the back post. Ruud Gullit, powerful header. Jude Bellingham, the supplier. You should see Paulo Neto with a look of amazement, in all honesty. You talked about that chance that we just saw right there. It was a great work at the back post, striking across the goalkeeper, but a fantastic save, getting down to his left-hand side, and a powerful hand as well. He didn't spill it into the penalty area. He managed to tip it up and over the crossbar. Very good piece of goalkeeping there.
Well, they are literally just 14 minutes away, Richard, from joining the winners list of the Masters Cup. We haven't had too much to go to or talk about in terms of these 2v2 teams and just how good they are and how good they are in these new form 2v2 teams. We have had a lot, though, across these weeks in March to go into April with. Who will join the winners book of XL Esports, Guild Esports, Team Heretics? Looks to be Atlanta United, as they are 14 minutes away from victory in this grand final. There's the change we mentioned from Inter. To be 15 minutes of constant pressure, 15 minutes of attacking pressure. Atlanta do their best just to soak it up. They're going to have to sit back and defend for their life. Shot comes in. That's just a bit desperate, to be honest.
It's desperate times, though, in this final 10 minutes. That's a unforced error there. Ball going out of play. There's going to be a potential flurry and a potential late charge here from Inter Esports. There needs to be.
De Bruyne, he can shoot from distance, fancying that time. 7 minutes now, the time is ticking. And the gaps are appearing with this attacking press. They're implementing. It's a running race at the back. Just does enough. Does Ruben Diaz. Five minutes away.
Don't know if they're going to get two chances, I'll be honest.
And March it's been, Richard Buckley, for one man in that Atlanta United side.
I'd say I'm surprised by this result, but I'm really not, because of the EMLS win. Potential chance. Big goal. Game on.
There's not much time, though. There is not much time at all. A minute plus. A minute, in all honesty, of additional time. It's in their hands to throw away Atlanta United. $15,000. Do not make a mistake. Do very well there to get out of that pressure. Van der Sar has to be man of the match for this game. Long ball over the top. Surely it is done. Surely it's Atlanta United here in week 4 of the FGS Masters Cup. Referee conclude the game. Yes, they will. Atlanta United will be week 4 champions in the FGS Masters Cup. They will go into the Team of the Season Cup as strong favourites. $15,000 in their back pocket, and a massive, massive confidence booster for the duo of Paulo Neto and Vinny. Congratulations.
What a performance from Atlanta United. Defensively, outstanding in that grand final. They conceded 1 goal. It was in, what, the 178th minute across the 2 legs. Truly, truly remarkable defensive performance. And I think that's the key to success. We've seen 4 weeks of FGS Masters performances. XL, defensively sound. Guild Esports kept a clean sheet in the grand final. Heretics, probably the best defensive team we've seen. And now Atlanta United, defense looks like the way forward going into the FGS Team of the Season Cup. I cannot wait. This was the starter. This was the entree for the Tots Cup.
And just one quick word, Richard. Your favourite team out of the 4 you've seen win across the last 4 weeks?
It's like picking my favourite out of the 4 children. They're all equal, Brandon.
It's got to be one. You know who it is.
Heretics.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Richard Buckley, absolute pleasure commentating over these FGS Masters Cups with you last 4 weeks. We will both be in that Team of the Season Cup late in April. Hopefully, we'll see you all there. But that's it from the commentary booth. After 4 fantastic weeks of FIFA, Atlanta United will take the last FGS Masters Cup home. For now, it's back to Rachel and Ryan to break down another great final.
Yeah, thanks so much, boys. And Ryan, firstly, we know why Rich picked Heretics. Matthias Bonanno, isn't it?
Yeah,
Always.
it really is.
He's such a big fan.
I actually agree with him, I'll be honest. Of course, we've had great teams across the 4 weeks, but Heretics for me were the best that I saw as well, so.
Well, let's get into our fourth and final winners then. Atlanta, of course. Great analysis there from the boys, but Ryan, it's now your chance to break it down as well. And the analysis presented by PlayStation Tournaments in that 2-1 win then for them over Inter.
Yes, the last one across the 4 weeks for the FGS Masters Cups. And it was the final between Atlanta and Inter Esports. And it was an early start for Atlanta. It was a roulette from Arna Ronaldo, a shot cancel in on his left foot, in at the near post. And it was a fantastic goal. But that is all for the first leg. We go into the second leg here, and it was a flurry of chances for Inter. This is one of them which has to hit the back of the net. Mbappe, then the other one, another one here, R9. Another day, they scored 2 goals. This one is more of a pot shot on the edge of the box. You'd expect the keeper to save it, but again, from those chances, they would have hoped one of them would have fallen their way to go into the back of the net, and it didn't. And it was a fantastic goal. A triggered run, a ball over the top, delightful from Bellingham into Ruud Gullit on the header. And that sealed the deal for Atlanta. You saw how much it meant to them. But again, there was one last consolation goal at the end there. It was finally R9 to hit the back of the net. But it wasn't that much celebration from the Inter players compared to Atlanta, because they knew they'd done the job to win FGS Masters Week 4.
Yeah, they did indeed. Palinetta and Vinny there fist pumping at the end. They enjoyed that one. Of course, that was the analysis presented by PlayStation Tournaments and Ryan Pessoa, of course, taking you through those. Well, guys, we all know what we've been building up for, don't we? Obviously, it's this. It's the Team of the Season Cup. The FGS Team of the Season Cup. It all kicks off April the 29th to May the 1st. And that's where you'll all get a chance to see all of the 16 teams from the last 4 weeks. And then all the 16 teams as well from December who qualified for that FGS Open, if you remember that one. And if you want to join us, then we'd love to have you, of course, and all the information about the FGS Team of the Season Cup will be on our social channels, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. So go and give us a follow and follow that hashtag FGS22 for all the information. Well, Ryan Pessoa, what a 4 weeks it's been. You mentioned Team Heretics there, but what's been a highlight for yourself?
Ooh, I said they were my favourite team. I'd say my highlight was from week 1, honestly. Just the way that Fnatic scored those crazy amount of goals against Footwiz. I thought that was incredible to see. And it led on throughout the 4 weeks. We saw some fantastic goals. And yeah, I want to put you on the spot. Who was your favourite team across the 4 weeks? I
actually think it was Excel winning. I think that was great for them as kind of a relatively new pairing as well in terms of Tom and Gorilla. So I like to see them come out on top. And I'm excited actually to see Dasari and Dr. Nightwatch, Team Falcons, of course, coming back to their best after their defeat last week.
Yeah.
There we have it though, guys. It's been an awesome 4 weeks. We really hope you've loved joining us every Monday in March, of course, for this, the FGS Masters Cup. Again, congratulations to all of our winners, Team XL, Team Guild, Heretics, and finally Atlanta United there. Thanks so much to Ryan Pessoa, to Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley for keeping me company every single Monday night, and obviously for taking all you guys at home through it. Obviously, again, thank you to all our 16 teams who took part. We loved having you on board, and we'll see you obviously soon in that Team of the Season Cup. But guys, stay tuned as well, because all that's left to do is for us to raid someone's channel. We're off to raid a FIFA streamer's channel who is online at the moment. Go and enjoy that, and we'll see you soon, guys. April 29th. Be there or be square. Good night.